With your commute as a kind of bridge between your home life and your work life, you are able to assume a completely different mode. If you do like a boost to your motivation, I encourage you to try a standing practice. You can do this even while holding on the strap of a train carriage. As you stand there, focus your awareness on the point below your navel and practice zazen. Whether it's during your commute or in a few spare moments during the day, this bit of Zen spiritual practice can be a great help. In a neighborhood of downtown Tokyo called Yanaka, there is a spot that is known as the Sunset Steps. These steps are not particularly unusual in and of themselves, but if you take a seat and look up at the sky at the right time, you can catch sight of a beautiful sunset. I don't know where the name Sunset Steps came from, but at some point everyone just started calling them that. Many people now go there to watch the sunset. I imagine that there are many such people all over the world. In the Japanese countryside, I bet you can see beautiful sunsets from the footpaths between the rice paddies, and in the city, you can climb up to a rooftop where the setting sun looms large. You don't need to go out of your way to get to Yanaka. It's easy to find various places that can serve as your own sunset steps. The important thing is to be able to sit and gaze upon the sun as it sets. When evening falls, take a moment to look up at the sky. Feel gratitude for having made it through another day. This moment will warm your spirit. When sitting zazen, one must not think about anything. That's when we are told, and yet it proves to be quite challenging. In principle, you do not close your eyes when sitting zazen. Since you can see what is happening around you, you end up having thoughts about something or other, no matter how hard you try. Most of the time, this is perfectly natural, and anyway, telling yourself don't think is itself thinking. But once you have a bit of experience with zazen, there will be moments, however brief, when your mind is empty. You will realize you are not thinking about anything. You will even forget about the sense of yourself. These are the very moments I am talking about. Your mind will become transparent. The things that usually encumber your thoughts will vanish. You will have the sudden sensation of entering a crystalline world. This is what I mean by becoming spiritually lighter. When you sit at your desk, your posture inevitably becomes stooped or hunched. Because this is an inherently unnatural position, it affects your concentration, and you can find the slightest things irritating or fatiguing. So I have a spiritual practice for you. For 5 minutes during your lunch break, try doing zazen while sitting in your chair. The basis for zazen is to harmonize your posture, breathing, and mind. First, adjust your posture by aligning your head and your tailbone. If you were to see yourself from the side, your spine would create an S curve and you could draw a straight line from your head to your tailbone. Next, attend to your breathing. Under these stressful conditions at work, you might take 7 or 8 breaths per minute. By focusing on your breathing, you can naturally decrease this to 3 or 4 breaths per minute. Once this happens, your mind will naturally settle. This practice can make both your head and your heart feel quite refreshed. All it takes is a 5-minute chair zazen. A 5-minute bed zazen before going to sleep will help you to reset your mind. When you get into bed, let go of whatever happened to you since waking up that morning, and be thankful for having made it through another day. When you wake up the next morning, you will feel renewed. Do not underestimate the effect of 5 minutes of zazen before you go to sleep. There are times when we join our hands together and silently pray for someone or reflect on something. I recommend making time for this not only when you visit a grave or a religious site, but in your everyday life as well. What is gasso? The right hand represents anyone other than yourself. It might be the Buddha or God or perhaps someone around you. The left hand represents you. Gasso signifies bringing these two together to become one. It is a feeling of respect for those outside of yourself, an offering of humility. By joining our hands together, we foster a sense of gratitude. It allows no room for conflict. You cannot attack someone when your hands are joined together, can you? An apology given with joined hands soothes anger or irritation. Herein lies the significance of gasso. It's a good idea to designate a space within your home where you can join your hands together. A place you can turn to and silently join your hands together. This small practice can have a surprisingly calming effect on your spirit. Adapting the concept of mountain dwelling for modern life, even amid the hustle and bustle of the city, the monk and famous tea master Senno Rikyu coined the phrase seclusion in the city. It is this model that explains why tea houses in Japan are always set a slight distance away from the main building. Consider putting into practice the concept of seclusion in the city, a place where you can disconnect from other people and spend time by yourself, a place in nature where you can regain mental freedom. A few moments of seclusion can illuminate the path forward. Try creating a garden in your home. If you don't have a garden, a balcony will do just fine. And if you don't have a balcony, a window ledge will suffice. A few square feet is all you need. Within that space, try representing the landscape of your mind. A place where your mind can escape. A place where you can look upon your essential self. It may just become your favorite spot. Try getting in touch with nature yourself. If you notice a stone lying on the ground, pick it up and hold it. When you see flowers blooming by the side of the road, stop and smell their fragrance. Then, inside your mind, create a miniature garden of your very own. It will relax you. There is a story about chasing clouds and about clouds getting away. You are out in the hot summer sun, working in the fields. Without any clouds to shield you from the blazing sun, you must endure the heat. But then you look up at the sky, and off in the distance, you spot a wisp of white. You think to yourself, and you even contemplate taking a break from your work until the cloud arrives. But the reality is, the cloud may never arrive to protect you from the sun, and the day might end while you have paused your work, anticipating the shade. Rather than waiting for the cloud to approach, strive to do now what needs to be done. If you work intently, you may forget how hot it is. What I am talking about here could apply not only to clouds, but also to a fate or fortune. There is no point in envying someone else who has been blessed with a little luck. Nor does it do any good to lament your lack of opportunities. Simply work hard to do today what needs to be done, and fortune will surely come your way.